Hello and welcome to the first video of Get Bizzy's book reviews. In this installment I will be reviewing The Power of Habit, a book I've just finished reading. To be honest, it was a little bit of a struggle to get through, but there are some golden truths in here that I think you guys would benefit from knowing, so I will be running through that. These particular videos I'll be trying to bring out once every 2 weeks. With a new book, and then I'll try and give you as many insightful points and tips from the book that you can use to improve your business or your personal life, thereby obviously improving your business. I'll then also pick 1 or 2 practical things that I think would benefit my life and then document the process as I attempt to implement. If these reviews sound interesting to you, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're kept in the loop when I upload new content. So first of all, what's my overall review of this book then? Well, to be honest, as I said at the beginning, I found the book to be a little bit challenging to get through. It took me a wee while to read through it. That's nothing against the author. It is, I guess, a difficult topic to really approach, and there is only one really key topic in this book, and that's habits, of course, how to identify, form and reform habits. But Charles Duhigg does a reasonable job of actually outlaying this. The first part that I really want to hone in on is probably the most important part in the book, and that is the 3 steps to the habit. So we have the cue, we have the routine, and then the reward. So for instance, if you have a habit of biting your nails, the cue could be running the finger over the tips of your nails, feeling that there's a snag there or something sticking out. The routine would then be biting the nail, and then the reward, running your finger back over the nail again and feeling that it's smooth now. Duhigg discovered and popularized this 3-step habit loop, and he discovered by monitoring brainwaves that the brain spikes at 2 particular instances, the cue and then the reward. So the spike at the beginning of the cue is the anticipation that you're going to get the reward at the end of the routine. And then obviously at the end of the routine there's the reward, so there's a second spike there. Now all of these other points here are really focused on the initial first point here, which is the habit loop. So the trick to changing a habit is to switch out the routine and leave everything else intact. Duhigg calls this the golden rule, and an example of this can be when I refer back to the previous habit that I've already used in this example. Instead of biting your nails, you could get a nail file and actually file your nails until they are smooth and then feel that the nail was smooth again. So you've still got the same cue, that being you find the snag on your nail, and the finishing reward is that you've got the smooth nail again. You've only changed the routine in the middle, and instead of biting, you've done something a lot more healthy in terms of filing your nail down. The third point that I really took away from this book is that willpower is the most important of habits. I didn't actually know that willpower was a habit, however from reading this book it really makes sense and they explain it quite well. The reason I think willpower is so important is because it's probably one of the most regular habits that we do have. I mean, how many opportunities throughout the day do you have to take the easy option or the hard option? And most people would be choosing the easy option instead of the hard one because, simply put, it's easier. And continuing to use the willpower throughout the day, if you've not practiced that skill, can be very tiring. So the more you use and actively use your willpower and form these habits surrounding it, then the more you'll actually be able to achieve throughout the day because your willpower becomes strengthened. I think that's probably why it's so important to start the day off with a good habit. Not only does it make you feel good, but you've already had that small win that then snowballs throughout the day, continuing to help you make better decisions. The fourth point is to focus on keystone habits. These keystone habits could be, for instance, for myself, going to the gym. If I don't go to the gym or do some form of exercise throughout the day, I notice a big difference. However, if I do go regularly to the gym on a daily basis or every second day, I notice that I feel a lot better throughout the rest of the day and have far more energy to achieve other things in my life. There are some studies in the book that show people who uptake regular exercise notice drastic improvements throughout other areas of their lives, and other habits begin to change without them even noticing. The fifth point is to focus on habits that require a lot of discipline. This works in conjunction with the willpower step. Because the more regularly you decide to take the hard road instead of the easy road, ironically, the easier it becomes to do so. There's plenty of opportunities throughout the day where you can strengthen your willpower and choose the hard road. An easy example for this again is the gym. Many people start thinking about going to the gym and then they decide to sit on the couch and eat something instead. And finally, the sixth point is to plan for the worst case scenario. Everything becomes much easier when you have a plan for if it goes wrong and a plan for if it goes right. Do everything that you can to ensure that when this habit comes along, it's as easy as possible for you to choose the right decision. Now that we've gone through those 6 steps, how do we actually implement this into our day-to-day life? Well, first we need to identify the habit. And you probably already know 1 or 2 things in your life, whether it be smoking or not going to the gym, not waking up early enough, lying in bed for 10, 15, 20 minutes after your alarm's gone off and wasting time, eating too much sugary food. The list goes on. The next step is to experiment with rewards. I'll use an example. I often find myself lying in bed for 10, 15, 20 minutes after my alarm has gone off. I've heard the alarm. Sometimes I even put a snooze on afterwards because I don't have the energy, or I don't feel like I have the energy to actually get out of bed, and I often find time just slips by and sometimes I actually fall back asleep. Now this is really bad and I don't want to be doing that. I've been late to work once or twice because of something like that. So what I could do, and I'm actually going to do a video documenting this, so if you'd like to check that out, links up there. I'm going to focus on creating a habit around getting up as soon as I hear my alarm go off. Now how I'm going to do this is, as soon as I hear my alarm, I'm going to stretch out my body in a full body stretch, and then as soon as I'm done stretching, my feet are going to hit the floor. Then I'll do some push-ups, get dressed, go get a healthy breakfast from the fridge that I've prepared the night before, come back to my computer, sit down and watch some form of motivational or educational content on YouTube. That way I'm kind of delaying the sense of having to start the day by actually being able to sit down, enjoy my breakfast and watch something on YouTube. I get a sense of reward being that I'm able to watch something I enjoy for 10 to 15 minutes prior to actually having to worry about doing anything else. I think this is going to be extremely powerful. I've done something similar in the past. Now that I work shift work, it's a lot more difficult because my waking times are all over the show, but hopefully this will be able to give me some consistency in the way that I get out of bed. Once you've completed those first 2 steps, all that's really left to do is practice that habit as many times as you can. The more times you complete the habit loop successfully in successive attempts, i.e. that could be on the same day or consecutive days, the more likely it will become second nature. By second nature, I mean something that you don't even have to think about, like putting on your seatbelt. That concludes my review of The Power of Habit. If you liked it, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up, and subscribe if you haven't already so you can keep up to date with all the latest book reviews and business related content. If you'd like to see a video of me putting what I learned into practice, then the link is up here. And if you'd like to purchase the book, there is a link in the description below. Now I do earn a small commission from that, but that's just one way of you showing appreciation and helping this channel grow. The next book that I'll be reviewing is Gary Vaynerchuk's Crushing It, in behind me here. I've already started reading it and I'm loving it so far, can't wait to share it with you. I've been following Gary Vaynerchuk for a number of years on YouTube and other social media platforms. You can find him at Gary V. I highly recommend you subscribe to his channel if you want to learn anything to do with social media marketing and business in general. He puts out daily content and it is full of value. If you'd like to suggest a different book that I review or books to review in the future, please let me know in the comments down below which ones you'd like me to do, and I will take all suggestions into consideration. As always, I encourage you to cut the bullshit and get busy doing what you love.